All right, it's it's the same old book we're reading. We're in chapter 15 right now, and it's pretty much just talking about believing in the power of letting your light shine. It's it's just saying that there's power in letting your light shine. A lot of people tend to dim their light. I put my name, Akin de Great. There are a lot of religious people that don't like that. They rather say, why don't you say St. Akin the Humble? They're so conscious of that you are elevating yourself, that it sounds like humility, but it's not humility. It's called lack of self-esteem. It's a lack of self-image. It's a poor self-image. When you start being focused on things like that. There are some things that you have. It doesn't, you're just that. Just to say that my name is Akin is not boasting, right? You get my point?
Yes.
Yeah. So some people are scared of saying who they are. Because if people say about me, who do you think I'm boasting? Oh, maybe I'm this, I'm this. But the same people are very ready to tell you about the woes and bad things that have happened to them. Oh, I lost money. Oh, I'm this. It's easier to talk about negative things than to talk about positive things for them. And that is not godly. That's devilish, right? Because when you're talking about the woes, you're not glorifying God. What is there to glorify God about the fact that I'm poor? I cannot feed. Oh, my child is sick. Our fallen nature is more easily attuned to talking about negative things and talking about positive things. Right? Religion has made us think that when good things happen to us, we're not good. We're not religious. We're not heavenly. We're more heavenly when we talk about bad things happen to us. It's like we're glorifying what the devil is doing, and we're ashamed of what God is doing. That does not help the people around us. Right? Because when you are shedding darkness, people only become more attuned to darkness. People are going deeper into darkness than coming to light. Because don't forget that it's what you see that you become. If all I show people is darkness, they can never see the light. They can never come into the light. They will always be forever lost in darkness. Because you cannot become what you cannot see. Right? That's what we say that if you can see the invisible, then you can have the impossible. But if you cannot see the invisible, you cannot have the impossible, right? If all you see is darkness, then darkness is what will envelop you, because you will produce after what you see. So that tells you how ungodly, unheavenly it is to glorify bad things than to glorify good things. If God has done something good for you, say it. Because if God can do it for you, it means He can do it for someone else also. If it's possible for you, then it can be possible for someone else, right? The general example we give is about the 1 mile, right? Up to a certain point, nobody could break that barrier of being able to run. I think it's either 5 minutes or so, or whatever time it was to break the 1 mile barrier. It was seen as something that was impossible. Medical people said it was impossible because nobody had ever broken that barrier before. Until one man made up his mind that I am going to break this barrier, right? He wanted to break the barrier. And he eventually did. And when he did, a lot more people broke it. Even people that were young, amateurs, all of that, broke it. Only because one person broke it. Because once he broke it, it became something that was possible. People could see it in their realm of possibility. Right? So that messaging goes into their subconsciousness, such that their whole body, their whole system calls everything it needs to break it. But when you think you cannot break it, the messaging you are giving to your subconsciousness is it is not possible. So your subconsciousness will just relax. You are telling your subconsciousness, don't even try it. Right? Because you are saying it's not possible. Your subconscious, if you believe it, your subconscious is your prophecy fulfilling part of you. Whatever you say is possible, your subconscious will say yes. Because your subconsciousness, don't forget, it's a dummy, right? It's the most powerful part of you, but it's a dummy. You will always believe whatever you tell it that is true. If you tell your subconsciousness that you're a woman, everything about you will just become woman. Everything you see will be woman.
That's true.
Right? Because that's just the way your subconsciousness is made. It's made to obey your command.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if someone says, and that's what we talk about when we talk about self-efficacy, right? Self-efficacy is the belief in yourself that you can handle the details of your life, right? If you believe that you're not efficacious, your subconscious will say, yes, it's true. I cannot do anything. It will not rise to the occasion of life, right? So this is one of the things top athletes do to meet up to the challenge of what they are entering into, right? Top athletes, top performers, right? Because when you are about to go to the stage, butterflies appear in your stomach. Your heartbeat goes up. It happens to every single person. But what differentiates top performance from ordinary people is this. They reframe that occurrence. Because most people will say, oh, I'm being anxious, so hope I will do it. Oh, it's like my body is saying, what top athletes say to themselves is that, wow, my whole body is rising to the occasion. Wow, my body is ready to do this thing. I'm all excited about it. They reframe what is happening in their physical body, right? They don't interpret it as an hindrance to what they're about to do. They interpret it as an enhancement to what they're trying to do. So that messaging goes into their subconscious mind that, wow, we're ready to do something great. So their whole body rises to the occasion. That feeling that happens to everybody that it becomes an hindrance to them is not an hindrance to these top athletes because of the way they interpreted the feeling in their body. Right? And those are just the reason why it's important, to be able to speak about the light that you have, shed your light, And there's one important. All right, this is this quote here by Marilyn Williamson. This was made popular by Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, as he came into power, quoted this. So this was made so popular. Talks about that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. That's not our deepest fear. That's why we talk about people having fear of success, right? It's not fear of failure. It's fear of success. It's if I succeed, will I be able to handle it? Will my friends still like me? Right? So he's saying our deepest fear is not that we are adequate. It's not that we are inadequate, right? It says our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Yeah. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Right?
Yeah.
So it says we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant? So because and that comes from not having a good self-esteem of yourself, right? Or having a wrong self-image. So, I don't deserve it. Oh, I come from this village. I come from that village. I've not done anything right. I'm not a pastor. So why should I deserve this? And when you start saying that to yourself, you are messaging your subconscious mind, right? If you say it long enough, your subconscious mind will work against you, that you will lose everything. Because you are saying subconscious mind, don't keep it. You were saying something, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that when we tell it our subconscious mind, it will imprint it, and then it becomes our reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because whatsoever you tell your subconscious mind to do, it will go out to make it come to pass. As your subconsciousness is beyond your body, is universal. It's able to message to people in Russia, in London. It's a universal being. All right? The whole of your mind is universal. It's a transmitting station. Right? It's able to connect with people in places beyond where your physical body can go to. Right? So once you start telling your subconscious mind that, it begins to send waves, transmitting waves all out on your behalf. And you will attract exactly the message. Right? So And when you don't have a good self-esteem, and when some of these people that stay on pulpits that have no clue what life is, they start telling you, oh, it's good to be poor. Oh, you have to be this. Hey, if you don't have too much money, you might sin. You are this. I mean, they have no clue. They have zero experience of life. All they make money from is offering, right? So, and they're not able then to help you because you can only give what you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, actually, who are you not to be, right? The real thing is, who are you not to be brilliant? Who are you not to be gorgeous? Who are you not to be talented? Who are you not to be fabulous? Right? And the reality is the place will tie it to the way God created us. God created us to be all of these things. Right? In Psalm 8, the Bible tells us that God created us a little lower than himself. Because the translation of that word where it says angel is Elohim. God created us a little lower than himself. Right? The Bible says we fell from that place of glory. Right? We fell to a place where we are seemingly below angels, but we were above angels in the original creation. Right? God gave us authority over everything. And angels were going up and coming down to earth. God gave us authority over everything. He made us a little lower than the angels. In our original creation state, we are above the angels. Right? That's why God did not even mention the devil when he was creating. The devil was there. The devil saw everything God was doing. And God did not put man at the risk of the devil, because God made man above the devil himself. God did not have to concern himself about the devil. But we lost all of that, right? When we committed treason against God, right? But the reality is that we deserve the very best. We deserve glory, because that is what God created us to be. And that's where God wants to take us back. So there's nothing wrong in we becoming the very best. It's not a sin. It's not something above us. It's just a place we should get comfortable at being. And only when we get comfortable at being that can we truly attract it, right? Because when we get comfortable at it, then we're sending a message into our subconscious mind to go out and cause it to come to us, right?
That's true.
And when we share the same light of the adventures we're having, the success we're having, the wins we're having in our own life, other people are able to gain their own light in our own light. People cannot gain light from our darkness, right? Where our fallen nature is more attuned to tell people about how bad things are. How bad things are only make that person become bad. But when you tell them about what God has done, what success, what breakthrough you have had, they also say, if it can happen to you, it can happen to me.
Yeah.
Right? So they're able to see their light in your light. And that's what life is supposed to be. Right? So Amy in the book was just talking about our own example, right? And she says she's bold and fearless and in a lot of things, but then she was uncomfortable in talking about her success. Why? Pretty much because of the way she grew up, the way she was taught, right? And I relate very much to this because I come from a conservative family, right? A mother that was so conscious about teaching us respect, right? She was so conscious about respect. Ooh, hey, you must call brother. Oh, uncle. Oh, you cannot talk about. My father was more like, hey, you have to be careful. You have to be kind to people. And what me on an ordinary level, that's okay. But there's a place where you take it to another extreme that it begins to hinder your life, hinder your progress. Right? It's okay on an ordinary level. But when you do too much of it, you hinder your progress. You know, have a time challenge relating with people that are younger than me, you know. And first thing is I'm just already assuming they are older than me, right? Because of just the way I grew up, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we're even going to, before I got married, my wife took me to one of our friends' place. I'm already calling the friend Ma, you know, all of that. right? It's just a natural reflection of the way I grew up.
That's the way I was brought up to, tell people, ma, sir, irrespective of whether they are younger or older than me. I can give you an example. Like my mom, if she comes to your place, I mean, she's gone, so she's not going to come.
Yeah.
Okay, I would really wanted to speak Igbo to you. She will greet you with good answer,
Yeah.
She's very older than you.
Yeah.
And we took after. She also feels so bad when, but just me younger than her. In face of greed before you start asking for and that's how she taught us to interaction any favor. But
and there's nothing wrong in doing that. The problem is when it goes to the other extreme. Great. There's nothing wrong in respecting. There's something wrong if that respect is hindering your progress. That's where there's a challenge. So, like we always say, the devil is in the advert. The devil is in the extreme. God is not in the extreme. God is just God. Respect for God is respect. There's no too much respect, too low respect. It's being able to respect and respect out of your heart, not out of fear, right? Like I was sharing 2 days ago. There are two ways or two reasons why we do anything that we do. Either do it out of fear or out of pleasure, self-interest, or what you might call faith. Right? Anything that is done out of fear never ends well. It comes from a place of imprisonment, a place of bondage, a place of enslavement, a place of something that you have to do, not something you want to do. And the only offering God receives is the one that comes from you want to do it. You are doing it from your heart, not because you feel that, if I don't do it, I'm happy, I'll commit sin. They will not like me. They will punish me. God does not receive the offering, right? God only receives the offering that comes from a pure heart, that you give because you want to, not because your pastor says you should give it, but because you chose to give it, right? That's the only offering God receives.